Hi folks, this is Dandy Reiner at Hedgefinder's Fly Shop in Livingston, Montana. For the shop I've been working on some black beetles. A very simple pattern designed by Ulf Hagstrom. If you're looking for the original recipe, I found it online. You can go to hatchesmagazine.com and find his pattern. This is my own little version of it. It's just simply a thin strip of black foam, red thread, and plastic black broom bristles for the legs. You can buy one of these little brushes just about any hardware store, but that's what it is. The legs and the antenna are these plastic broom bristles. Bends nicely, they don't break, you can manipulate them. It's kind of fun to work with. So I'm tying this fly on a Dai-Riki 280 hook. I'm tying them in 14s. And I'll start off with a thread base using red 6/0 thread. And just make a thread base down to the barb of the hook. The foam is cut into strips about 2 centimeters wide. I'm going to tie that in right at the back of the hook there. Make sure to cover up your foam with your red thread. Now about to the hook point is where we'll add in our first set of legs. You're just going to place it right on top of the hook shank and come around with your thread, and you're going to almost figure eight it. So you come behind it, in front, on top. That cinches it in really good. And then about 1.5 centimeters above that, we're going to place in our second set of legs. The exact same way. Tie it in right on top of the hook shank. Okay, and then going to wrap forward just slightly, maybe 0.5 centimeter, and then we're going to fold over the foam, make a couple of wraps, pull the tag end back and come underneath it, and we'll tie in our front legs right on top of the hook shank, just like we did the back legs, exact same way. Just figure eight it, come in between the legs. You might have to pull the back legs aside to make room. And then we'll bring our thread forward to behind the eye, and I'll tie in my antenna, exact same way I did my legs, right behind the hook eye. Alright, and it's at this point I've been pulling my antenna forward over the eye. You can see how nicely that bends to where I want it to go. I'm going to fold the foam over the eye. I'm going to come over and tie it down right behind the eye, and that makes a nice small head. You want the body larger than the head. One of the things I love about this pattern is it looks very realistic, and it also floats nicely on the water. Alright, it's at this point here I'll go ahead, whip finish it off, cut it off. And for the legs, I've been trimming them up a little bit on each side, making them as even as I can. If you really want to get technical, you can always use a micrometer or a ruler. You can even up the antennas. To put the joint in the legs, I use a pair of tweezers, and I grab onto one of the legs with my tweezers. I'm flush up against the foam with my tweezers, holding onto that leg, and I'm just going to bend it back over the tweezer, and it makes a nice joint, just like that. I'll do the exact same thing on the other side. Just bend it back. And I'll do the exact same thing with the middle set of legs. Grab it with the tweezers, bend it back, creates a nice joint. Do the exact same thing on the other side. With the front legs, I bend them forward. So I grab it with the tweezers, bend it forward, and it puts in a nice joint. I'll do the exact same with the other side. Bend it forward. So again, the two legs are pointed back, and the front legs are pointed forward. And you can leave the legs as long, short as you like. Trim them up to where you want them to be. Just make sure they're even on both sides. I like the front legs to be just a little bit shorter than the back legs. And I'm going to score right down the center of the back. I'm going to use a razor blade, and I'm going to gently score it. I'm going to turn my vise like so, and I'm going to right down the center score it gently. Don't go all the way down. So you got that nice wing casing look to it. And I've been using Fly Tire Z-Ment with the brush applicator, and I've been putting a little bit just underneath, brushing it on, really cinches it all up. So that's called the SMS Beetle by Ulf Hagstrom.